Welcome to Bandit's Keep Actual Play. I'm Daniel. In this video, we're going to continue my solo original Dungeons & Dragons campaign using Chainmail and Outdoor Survival. We're zooming in on the wolves of Meeple. They're being joined by the foxes. So we've already had a mashup like this before where the foxes were joined by the wolves. This is because both groups were having trouble kind of getting done what they needed to get done. In the case of the wolves, they have lost many a fighter, including clerics too, to cockatrice. And in the last session I ran these guys, they actually lost their main fighter with a magic shield to a black pudding. This is a dangerous lair, and they knew they needed help. So they've made a deal, and the remaining, or the survivors, I should say, of the foxes are joining them. Also, the group itself has been bolstered up, and we're going to see if they can slay these cockatrices, destroy that black pudding, maybe get back that magic shield, and certainly get a whole lot of treasure. Let's make this worthwhile. Okay, it is the 2nd of December, and we've got a mixed party here. We have the wolves who are still obligated to get the rest of the treasure from the cockatrice lair. But after last time, they realized that they just really needed some reinforcement. They needed some help. Also, a little meta, I wanted to level a couple characters up who were close to leveling. So they joined forces with the foxes. And together they helped, well, they basically fought off an orc tribe, if you will. Well, as part of that deal, they got money for that, obviously, but they also got the obligation of the foxes, of which only 2 remain, to help them on this quest. And the foxes are both, the 2 characters joining are both 3rd level magic users. So we've got a couple 2nd level magic users, a couple 3rd level magic users, and then we've filled out the rest of the wolves, because again, they're still under contract, so the patron fills out the rest of the group with mostly fighters and clerics. We'll get to that, when we get to the dungeon, the exact makeup. But the other thing that's going on here is, if we remember last time with the cockatrice, they built these kind of chicken coop walls, and that worked really well. So they want to do that again. They can't guarantee, because it's been almost 2 months, that they're still there, right? They left them. They also left behind the cart. So once again, they're going to need to lug those things down to the dungeon and use a cart. Because the group is kind of big, and because they're going to be moving slow, and because they have a lot of cash, they have decided to hire, of the group they had used before, 10 of those light horse to guard them. So I've got 10 mercenaries on light horse. They've got crossbows and lances, and of course they've got swords and stuff like that if need be. But basically they're going to fight on horses if we encounter anything. Because now with the group being, including them, 21 in number, it's going to be hard to avoid anything. All right, so let's begin. It is December 2nd. We have 3 weeks rations as always. Now, the wagon can only move 4 units, if you will, per day. The party's up here at the top. They're trying to get here. Day 1, December 2nd. Roll a d6 to see if they get lost. On a 1, they are lost, so they are not lost. They can now move 4. Because I'm in the open, each one only costs 1 point. I'm going here, so they're going to head this way, because that's what worked for us before. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the end of the day, we need to check to see if there was an encounter. In the clear, on a 6, there's an encounter. 5, no encounter. So 1 day has gone by, and we start the next day. Again, in the clear, they're only lost on a 1. 3, they are not lost. 1, 2, 3. Okay, right at the edge of the mountain there. I'm stopping because they don't have enough movement to go through the mountain. That costs 3 hexes, so I got to stop there. They're going to stop there at the edge of the mountain, still in the clear. Do they have an encounter? They do not with a 5. Another day goes by. Okay, day 3. They're still in the clear. I'm going to roll to see if they get lost. 2, they do not. Mountains cost 3 movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They end the day in the clear. There's only encounters in the clear again on a 6. No encounter. Well, that's the 3rd 5 in a row I've rolled there. All right, pretty good so far. Day 4. Are they lost? They are not. Once again, they're going to end up in the clear. I'll show you. Someone's going to roll the encounter now. And I get an encounter, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stop there. So I might take that path. Okay, they're having an encounter. It's in the clear. So before we do that, we mark the day off, because remember that counts. We're going to roll down here. We're going to roll a d8. 7. They encounter an animal. Or a group of animals, that it would be. Oh, this might be good hunting for us. Basic animals, because we're not going to use optional woods or anything like that. So we're going to roll a d12. 9. Scorpions. Well, I don't think we're going to eat scorpions, so that's not good. So this can go a number of ways. It says you can use normal size animals, but generally they're giant. I feel like with scorpions, that's the way to go. If you were playing this as a campaign, what you could do is, let's say, have a bunch of scorpions invade the camp in the overnight or something, right? Or people wake up and maybe have a couple people make poison saves or something like that because they step on one by mistake, right? Something to that effect. But I think we're just going to go with giant scorpions because that makes the most sense. So the question is, how many are there? Because we still are going to try to evade them. If we fail the evasion, we're probably not going to take the penalty and move. We'll just fight them. That's why we have a large group. But we will always still try to evade. So we're going to look at monsters and treasure. Generally with giant animals, I generally go, because they're giant, they can be anywhere, like a wolf is 1 hit die, right? So they can be anywhere from 1 to 3 hit dice is how I normally do it. So I'm going to roll a d6. 3, which makes them 2 hit dice apiece. Okay. How many are there? 2 to 16. 4. We actually want a big number here. 6. Okay, so that's not a large number. That's less than half. So we have 6 giant scorpions, 2 hit dice apiece. I feel I'm going to end up in a fight. Our group is between 10 and 24. There are 25%. Let's see, no, there's 60. 25% would be 4. So there is between 26 and 50. 30%. Now we're not faster than them, and they're not, I would say they're not twice as fast as us either. Giant scorpions probably move at like a normal pace, like a 12. I would imagine a horse, for instance, would be faster than a giant scorpion, especially over the long run. Although we're pulling a wagon, which is slow. So I'm going to say speed-wise, we're equal, just for the purposes of this. So that gives us, just to avoid them, that gives us a 30% chance. So we're going to roll. 2. Oh, okay. 0. 20. Okay, so we avoid them, actually. We're able to avoid the giant scorpions and, move on. All right, that worked out. So, thought there was going to be a fight, and there wasn't. So that actually worked out pretty well. Next day. Do we get lost? We do not. On the 6th, we're not lost. So now I want to determine... I think I'm actually not going to go down this path now that I'm looking at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So once again, we end up in the clear. In the clear, there's an encounter on a 6. So let's roll to see if we have an encounter. 5, no encounter. That's day 5. We can go one more day, then we need to rest. So here's where I have to think about this. If we don't get lost, this is going to be day 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we could end up in the plain, so we're good. We're going to move. If for some reason we're going to end up like in the woods or something, I might just rest where we are. But let's see if we get lost. 6, we are not lost. 1, and again, paths only cost 1 through the woods. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We end up in the plain at the end of day 6. Mark that off. And then we're going to go, is there an encounter? Because this could be problematic. 5, there's not an encounter. Okay, so now day 7. I'm just going to mark it off. We still need to roll if there's an encounter. There's not. Okay. So we've used 1 week's worth of rations. Hopefully we'll be a lot faster getting back because we won't have this cart. Okay, we're in the clear. Do we get lost? On a 1, we're lost. 1, we have to move once in a random direction. 1. Okay, so that's up, which going into the forest costs us 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we stop there in the clear. Mark the day off. Is there an encounter? There's not. Okay, next day. This trailhead going through the mountains will cost us 2 instead of 3, which is nice. 3 means we're not lost in the clear. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the end of that. Do you have an encounter? We do not. Okay, next day, we're going to go down this path. That's the plan. Are we lost? We are not. 1, 2. Through the woods, the path only costs 1. 3, 4. Okay, now we end up in a path which I treat as river. So there's a slightly better chance of an encounter on a 5 or a 6. We have an encounter. 5. Okay, there is an encounter. Okay, so I got to mark the day off first. We're going to look under woods, and we're going to roll a d8. 3. Giant. So that means giant type, not necessarily a giant. So we're going to roll here on this table. It's a d12. I'm going to re-roll it because it was inside the thing. 10. Okay. So not gnomes. Because gnomes are 9. Pegasai. Okay. Well, pegasai are lawful. They're also non-violent. So this really isn't an issue for us. I'll just still go through the procedure. So pegasai are in groups of 1 to 12. There's 7. So that means there's more than half, right? Is 7 over 60%? I'm going to say it is without doing the math. We have a 50% chance of evading them. They are twice as fast as us, though, which means that is reduced to 25%. But then because we're in the woods, we have a bonus of 25. So we have a 50% chance of just evading the pegasai. Again, nothing's going to happen if we don't. I'm just going to walk through the process. 1, 7. So we actually avoid them. So one thing I did not do before because I forgot. Well, actually, no. I didn't forget. Giant scorpions don't have lairs. That's why I didn't do that. But pegasai also doesn't have a lair. So no lair to check. We're basically good to go. That day's over. All right, starting up again. 3. On a path, we're only lost on a 1 because I treat it as river. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the end of that day. Let's make a check to see if we're lost in the clear. I mean, not lost, but an encounter. We do not have an encounter. Okay. Now we got to be strategic. What I'm going to do here, the dungeon is 1 in, and this costs us 2. So I'm going to spend an extra day, because if I went 1, 2, 3, for instance, I'd have to stop in the woods. Instead, I'm just going to move 1. Yeah, I'm just going to move 1 and stop here. Then tomorrow, I mean, I am risking an extra encounter, but there's less of a chance of having an encounter in the clear. So I think, yeah, but then I might get lost. You know what? I'm not doing it. We're going for it. All right, so here we go. We're just gonna, hopefully we don't get lost. We're not lost. 1, 2, 3. We can't move the second to get over there, so we end in the woods. This is actually day 6, so when we get to the dungeon, we're going to have to actually rest a day. And of course, there's an encounter. There would have been an encounter even in the clear, so I guess I don't care that much. In the woods, we're going to roll for an encounter. It's a 4, and now we get the 4. That's lycanthropes. We're going to see what kind of lycanthrope. 2. Wereboars. Ooh, those are tough. Okay, so we're going to jump over here. And again, I've been doing this long enough that I know, but I'll run through it for you guys. There's from 2 to 20 lycanthropes. Hopefully a lot. Ooh, that's not a good sign. Okay, there's only 4 of them. But we actually cannot fight lycanthropes. So we're going to have to run because lycanthropes are basically immune to everything but silver. And I don't have a whole bunch of silver arrows with me because we weren't planning on this. Okay, so there's only 4 of them, which is 25% or less. So where this size 25% or less is only a 15% chance of avoiding them. We add a 25. Oh, okay. Before we get into the actual evasion, I've been forgetting to do this. Let's roll to see if either side is surprised. White party, black lycanthropes. Ha, we're both surprised. Okay. Well, I'm going to count that as because it does say no chance of evasion if surprised, but I feel like if both parties are surprised, there's basically no surprise. So what we're going to do is treat this as if there was no surprise. I am going to roll to see if this is their lair. It's not, because that's a 4 and there's only 15% chance. So what we're going to do is we're going to see. We have with our party size, we have a 15% chance of avoiding them. I'm going to say we're not twice as fast as them. I mean, I could look them up, but they're not twice as fast as us either, because we are on a cart, which is basically I'm going to treat as mule or draft horse, which has a movement of 12. Lycanthropes have a variable movement. I'll just look them up, but I'm pretty sure that they're all right around where we are. It's always best to look things up and not just try to remember it. Wereboar's movement is 12. Yep. Okay. We're going to say neither side is surprised, or both sides if you want to think of it that way. We have a base 15% chance of avoiding them because of our speed and their speed, but the woods will add 25%, which means that we have a 40% chance of avoiding them. Oh, 1. There you go. 2, that's 12. We avoid them. Okay. We may have actually been able to take them because a sleep spell would take out a Wereboar, and I have a lot of magic users, but we do want to save those sleep spells if possible, so I'm glad we did not have an encounter. Well, one that we had to deal with. So that was day 6, and we need to rest. We're going to need to rest, so we're just going to do that. I probably should have done that before we went to the dungeon, or the woods, but let's see if there's an encounter today. There's not. Okay. So now, that's day 7. So we've used up 2 weeks of our rations. We definitely have to get home faster than we got here. Do we get lost today? 2. I believe that means we are lost in the woods. Is this going to screw us up? It really is. Best laid plans. 4. Oh, 4 means we move straight down, which is exactly where we're going. So being lost actually worked for us. So we are now at the lair. That day goes by. We have now got to the cockatrice lair. This is not a huge dungeon, or at least the part we've explored so far. So hopefully we will not have an issue with food. We do have a hunting spot right there. So worst case scenario, that might be what we need to hit before we go home, or maybe we can hit that one on the way home. So we do have some options if we're going to be low on food, but hopefully the speed of the riding horses will get us home much faster. They're more than twice as fast as we came here. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, it is the 17th of December, and the party has a plan. Now, just to go over this, just in case you haven't seen their previous quests, everything you see here, they've actually explored. They've been in all these rooms. The only thing they haven't found is this secret door. Now, I have marked here where the cockatrice were, and if I roll an encounter in that room, the cockatrice will still be there. That's how I'm going to do that. This is where the black pudding was. If I roll an encounter in that room, the black pudding will be there. Now, they definitely want to go to that room, well, both rooms really, because they want to wipe out these things. But also, the black pudding killed one of their party members who had a magical shield. Now, it doesn't say in OD&D if magical shields are immune to the black pudding. I'm going to say there's a very low chance that it is, but we're going to give it a chance. So when they get to that room, if they get to that room, we will do a dice roll and see if that armor is still there. Now, they have done their research and they know a couple of things. So because of that, we're going to keep ourselves pretty organized with 2 plans. We know the cockatrice need to be stopped by a heavy crossbow fire and the walls that we built. So these 2 magic users here, the 2nd level magic users that are part of the group, are carrying those 2 walls. If they encounter the cockatrice, the plan is that these 2 fighters are going to run back behind and then close the wall. These 2 guys are carrying torches, and along with their hand weapon, or I should say torches instead of their hand weapon, and then they'll use that in the first round of combat, or they'll drop it on the ground and they'll pull out their crossbows and shoot. These 2 magic users are carrying torches lit. This cleric in the back is carrying a torch lit. These 2 have their crossbows ready, and everybody in the whole party is carrying oil. The plan is, if we run into the cockatrice, these guys are going to run back. They're going to set up the wall. If we run into the black pudding and we're not surprised, everybody's going to back up, hurl oil at it, and then approach. The armored characters are going to approach with torches or throw torches at the black pudding. This is my plan, but like most players' plans, we'll see how it actually works out. There are other threats in here as well, of course, and maybe their preparations will do nothing for those threats. I have made, which I've had before, basically the list of what's in here as far as wandering monsters and the like. There's a bunch of treasure in here. There's a bunch of treasure that needs to be recovered for the patron. And there's several creatures. There's basically an unlimited number of possible random animals, you know, giant scorpions and the like. There is only 3 cockatrices left, but let's do a little calculation here. It's been 2 months, so I'm going to say there's a good chance. Have the cockatrice in numbers increased? However, cockatrices have more babies. Do we have more cockatrices? Oh, okay, it's a tie. So whenever I have a tie, I then just roll 2 dice. Are there more cockatrices? No. Okay. So that's good. There's only 3 cockatrices remaining. Of course, they don't know that. But meta, as the DM, I know that. And when we encountered the 3 cockatrices, the final of the third, if you will, they will recover all the cockatrice treasure from that. If they encounter the ochre jellies and black puddings, they will get some of the other treasure that the ochre jelly and black pudding can have. The first thing they encounter will have one of these, and then the second one will have the rest. So that's assuming it's in a room. If it's in a hallway as a random encounter, it won't have any treasure, and we'll find the treasure in a room. It'll be in one of the empty rooms later as we explore. All right, so with all that being said, let's get started. First thing we're going to do, we're starting right here. We're going for it. We're going exactly where we need to go. So we can move 12 in a turn, so 2 moves of 6. But what we're going to do is move up, which is 6, to the door. We're going to open the door. We're going to spike the door. First, we're going to listen to the door. We're going to open the door. Then we're going to spike the door. So first of all, 3 people can listen. I do have 2 elves. I should say I have a halfling and an elf. So they will be the white dice. The black die will be a human, whoever it is listening. The humans here on a 1, demi-humans on a 1 or a 2. Okay, so if there is something there, they will hear it. So I'm going to roll right now because in the second turn, there'd be a wandering monster. There's not. Okay, so they don't hear anything. And can they open the door? 3 people try to open the door. A roll of a 2. 2 of them didn't do much, but a roll of a 2, the door's open. So at the end of turn 1, this door is spiked open so they can run back if they need to. And they are standing there in the hallway and there's no monster. Turn 2. We know there's not a wandering monster because I already rolled it. They can move 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's going to put them right here. Okay. Turn 2's over again because I already rolled for the random monster. Oh, by the way, pull these. This is my fire. Okay. Turn 3. They're going to move again. Right to the corner. Is there a random encounter? There is not. There's a random encounter on 1 or 2 if I didn't say that. Turn 3. Turn 4. Put some right there. I actually rolled a random encounter on turn 3 and I shouldn't have. It should have been on turn 4, so that's fine. Okay, turn 5. So now they're close to this secret door, so I'm going to give a 1 or 2 on a d6. The elf automatically sees it. They do not. Okay, so nobody knows about that secret door. So this turn, they're going to move to this door, and they're going to listen to see if the cockatrices are there. If they don't hear anything, or if they do, we'll discuss that in a second. So let's listen first, because this is the half a turn to do this. Okay. If something's there, they hear something. So are the cockatrices in this room? There's a 1 or a 2. They're in this room. They're not. Okay. They push the door open. Unsuccessfully. Which triggers a random monster encounter, possibly. Nope. They try again. Okay, they open it that turn and spike it. So that's the end of turn 6. So we need to roll for a random encounter. There's not one. They come into this room. They actually come into the room and they spike the door shut. So they're basically... Actually, can they do that? Does the door open in or out? So does the door open in a way that they can spike it to make themselves safe? Yes, okay. So they spike the door so that nothing can come through behind them. And they rest for turn 7. That's what they have to do. Okay, during turn 7, there wouldn't be a random encounter, but on turn 8, there would be, so let's roll. There's not. They really should have rested on turn 6. Kind of goofed that up, so whatever. We'll just start over at turn 1 again. What we're going to do here is we're going to listen. Do they hear anything in this room from the black pudding? They don't hear anything. All right, so here's the question. Is the black pudding in this room? No. Okay, it's moved. And by the way, they would have. I'm so excited about the black pudding that I've not been going systematically. They would have started over with their torches here. Okay, so they come into this room. Now let's figure something out. Do they find the shield, or was it destroyed? So because black puddings dissolve metal, it is magic, right? So it could be a chance that it will be okay, but I think it's a pretty small chance. I think in my world, I'd like the black pudding to destroy even magic items. I think that makes them very deadly and very powerful. So what we're going to do is, did the black pudding destroy the shield? Yes, but barely. So, yeah. So what that's going to tell me, just narratively, is that if I have magic armor, the black pudding can dissolve it, but it does it at an incredibly slow rate. So if, let's say, somebody gets hit and killed by the black pudding, but then they're able to come back like the next day or something, the shield would have been there. But it's been 2 months. We're once again near this secret door. Let me see if this elf sees it. They don't. Okay. This is effectively a dead end, though. So I think they are going to take a turn to look around in here for any secret doors, which I know there's not any besides that one, or anything like that. So basically the elf is going to be the white, and they get seed on a 1 through 4, and then 2 other people are checking as well. Oh. No. Nobody sees the secret door. Okay. That secret door is basically not being seen by anybody. But that's the second turn, so let's see if there's a wandering monster. There is. Okay. So they're in here chilling out, but again, only 3 of them looked. The elf, and we'll say the high-level characters, all but this one. We'll say these 3 were checking. So everybody else obviously is guarding. So the chance of them being surprised is next to nothing. I'm going to say the party's only surprised on a 1, and because they're ready for whatever it is, the creature is surprised on 1 through 3. The party's surprised. All right, let's see what comes in here. Let's see. Where's my little chart? All right, it's a 2d6 chart. Here we go. 10. Oh, it's an animal. All right. So, for whatever reason, this animal... Now, we're in the woods. So, of course, I don't have an animal chart. I'm just using... Some animal wandered in, basically. How did it get through the spiked door? I don't know. So, what we're going to say, because narratively I did spike that door, I don't want to take away from the fact the players did that. So, let's do this. Let's use the oracle here. Did the animal figure out how to get through the secret door? If so, they'll come in this turn. Otherwise, they're going to be waiting in that hallway. And they will surprise the party, so I'm not going to, back up on that. Okay, I'm going to re-roll that, but it's a very good chance that it's a yes, because I rolled a 1 on the other die. Yes, okay, so that's what happens. So, that actually explains why they got surprised. The party's all down here guarding, and some animals bust in here. So let's see what kind of animal it could be. All right, so we're going to go basic animals. Right from the book. I'm going to roll a d12. 7. Apes. Oh my God. Okay. Well, these wild apes are going to come in here. We'll say white apes, right? With multiple arms are going to come in. So again, animals come from 2 to 16. So there's 6 and 5. Oof. It's 11. I think white apes are 2 hit dice in BX, but I don't remember. So I'll do exactly what I always do for animals. I'm going to roll A D6, it could be up to 3 hit dice. 2 hit dice, so there you go. All right, the apes come charging in the room. Maybe this is a place where the apes, congregate when maybe they've moved in after the black pudding moved out. Or maybe they drove it out, who knows. So these apes are going to charge in the room. We need to roll a reaction. They're an animal, so, we'll interpret it based on that. They're not intelligent apes, but they're in a dungeon, so they can't exactly be just normal apes, right? So we're going to go reaction roll. Okay, that is a very negative reaction. So they're going to charge into the room and attack. They push on. If you've been enjoying these videos, I hope you have, you got to the end. Please do like and subscribe, do all the good YouTube stuff. Also, check down in the description below. You're going to find links to most of the stuff I use for these. If you have questions about other things, you see me using something, let me know. I will try to find a link for you. Down there, you're also going to find a link to my Patreon. Sign up there, support the channels. Also down there, you're going to find a link to Unchained, which is my own combat system, kind of a hack of chainmail, if you will. And that's really what I'm using for these episodes. I'll talk to you soon.